Good morning. I call to order the Planning Commission meeting of February 26, 2025. We are meeting in the San Mateo County Board Chambers. Excuse me. We're meeting in the San Mateo County Board Chambers as well as remotely via Zoom. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Madam Clerk, please proceed with roll call.
Commissioner Gupta,
Here.
Commissioner Hansen,
Here.
Commissioner Serrano Kwan.
Here.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Here.
Chair Ketchum.
Here.
Thank you, Chair. You have a quorum and staff is represented by Monowitz, Fox, and Gonzalez. Thank you.
We will now open public comment for items not on the regular agenda. Please note today we'll be moving item 2 to the regular agenda to address correspondence received. Madam Clerk, please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. I will first call upon members in chambers, followed by speakers on Zoom. For in-person comments, the speaker slips are located in the back of the room. On Zoom, please use the raise hand feature or *9 if you are calling by phone. And at this time, Madam Chair, we do not have any public comment.
Thank you. We will now close public comment for items not on the regular agenda. Moving on to the consent agenda, we have one item, minutes for January 22, 2025. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I second.
Thank you. That was a motion by Commissioner Ramirez, a second by Commissioner Gupta. Commissioner Gupta,
Aye.
Commissioner Hansen, Commissioner Serrano Kwan.
Aye.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Aye.
Chair Ketchum.
Abstain due to absence.
Thank you, Chair. Your motion carries 4-1.
All right, now we'll move on to item 2. You introduce the item. Thank you.
Thank you. Owner, Alvis Susan V. Trust. Applicant, Mid-Peninsula Regional Open Space District. File number PLN 2025-00004. Location, Miramontes Point Road. APN 066-430-100 and 066-430-110. And the planner is Bharat Singh. Give me 1 second, Bharat.
Working since, okay.
Yes, now. Good.
All right. So I bring before you a general plan conformance, which is a very typical staff report and application to ensure that the Mid-Pen Regional Open Space District is purchase of these properties conforms with our general plan and other land use policies. So these are located near the city of Half Moon Bay along Miramontes Point Road. Just make sure that this is working. Is this really working? All right. Oh, okay, now it's going way too fast. Okay. So the project, the Open Space District is proposing to purchase about 62.68 acres of property located on Miramontes Point Road. It's in an unincorporated county, but adjacent to the city of Half Moon Bay. The property previously was private open space, and the okay. The property is close to the Miramontes Ridge Open Space Preserve. When when purchased, these properties will expand the preserve and will be managed for open space, habitat preservation, and watershed protection. And as per the Government Code 65402, prior to the acquisition, a report for the conformity of the general plan, which this report has to be submitted. So this is a map just giving an idea of where the site is located. It's fairly close to Highway 1, just south of Half Moon Bay. So the acquisition implicates the following policies that we have in our general plan. The wildlife and vegetative resource policies, visual quality policies, parks and recreation, land use, rural land use, natural hazards, and the local coastal program. And the proposition to acquire does not conflict with any of these general plan policies or other policies that are listed. For the environmental review, it is a common sense exemption since no project is or improvements are being proposed as a mere acquisition. So the common sense exemption applies for this particular acquisition. And the recommendation to the Planning Commission is to find and report that the open space district's proposed purchase of 62.68 acres of property, APN 066-430-100 and 066-430-110, conform with the county's general plan. So that in gist is my presentation. I know that we received a comment. I'm just going to read out the comment so that it's for the record. Honorable Planning Commissioners, I have a few questions regarding the open space districts project at the Alves property. Can the parcel next to Highway 1 be utilized for recreational parking in addition to the coastside office for the district? Is there a water source in the upland area? Will it be utilized for grazing or some other agricultural use? I viewed this item in the recent Mid-Pen Open Space District Zoom meeting, but their format did not allow for public comment after the staff presentation, which was unfortunate. Hopefully, these questions can be answered in any case. This is submitted by Kelly L. Burke. Just to outline, the purpose of the general plan conformance is strictly that. It is not about any development proposals. Should there be a development proposal by the open space district, that would have to come to this commission for approvals as any other development project. And these considerations would be looked at that point. So at this point, it's merely an acquisition. So we can't really comment on what the question the person has asked about. Any questions?
Any questions from commissioners?
No questions.
No.
Really quick, I just wanted to understand what the purpose of the acquisition was. What they be doing with the land?
Their intention was to essentially, manage will be managed for, this is as per their letter, the properties would be managed for open space habitat preservation and water protection. So they don't list in their application any other intent other than preserving the open space and what its existing purposes are for.
Thank you.
I would add to that. My understanding is the purchase also includes properties within the city of Half Moon Bay. Mid-Peninsula Open Space District manages significant amount of open space on the coast side, and they've been in search of a location to place their maintenance equipment and ranger vehicles and so forth. And so I understand that this is part of a larger purchase, some properties in the county, which will be used in the manner that Bharat has described. for open space protection, but also acquisition of lands within the city of Half Moon Bay to accommodate the district's maintenance needs for their open space lands.
Is that a nonprofit or a government entity?
The open space district is I'll let Tim answer that. He'll say it better than I.
It's a government entity. It has taxing authority and other powers of a government as well. So MidPen is a government agency, but they work in conjunction with a different agency called Peninsula Open Space Trust, or POST, which is a private entity. So it can sometimes be confusing.
And the trust is also, is a nonprofit?
POST is a nonprofit, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for this. To be complete, should we open public comment since we pulled this?
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's nobody wishing to speak in chambers. And at this time, I do not see any hands raised on Zoom. So there's no further comment for item number 2. Thank you.
So we will close public comment for this item, and may I ask for a motion?
I can make the motion. The Planning Commission finds and report that MROSD's proposed purchase of 62.68 plus minus acres of property, APN 066-430-100 and 066-430-110 conforms to the county general plan.
I'll second that.
Thank you. That was a motion by Commissioner Gupta and a second by Commissioner Hanson. Commissioner Gupta,
Aye.
Commissioner Hanson,
Aye.
Commissioner Serrano Kwan.
Aye.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Aye.
Chair Ketchum.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you. We will close that item and move on to item 3.
Owner, Anthony R. Tefera Trust. Applicant, Anthony Tefera. File number PLN 2024-00043. Location, Magellan Avenue, Miramar. APN 048-022-370. And the project planner is Tiffany G.
Morning, Commissioners. My name is Tiffany G, and I am a planner with the department, or Planning and Building Department. This project is located at an unaddressed site on Magellan Avenue in Miramar. Its APN is 048-022-370, and this is the consideration of a coastal development permit, design review permit, and a grading permit for the construction of a new 2,193 square foot single family residence with an attached 443 square foot garage on an 8,800 square foot undeveloped legal parcel located in the unincorporated Miramar area. And may I go to the next? Oh, okay. Where do I aim? Oh, okay, sorry, there it is. Oh, sorry. Okay. The project involves 490 cubic yards of cut and 415 cubic yards of fill, and there's no tree removal proposed. The CDP is not appealable to the California Coastal Commission. This is the location on an aerial, so you can see the Cabrillo Highway there and the ocean. And this is a view from Cabrillo Highway. So there's some vegetation that kind of blocks where the single family home is going to be, and it's also a single story. So it's it won't have like a very high, the profile won't be that viewable. This is a site plan. Sorry, it is a little bit hard to see, but it's part of the staff report as well. Okay, and then this was a rendering of what the single family home will look like. This was created for the coastside design review committee. Their water supply will be provided by Coastside County Water District. They confirmed that there's 1 3/4 inch 30 GPM uninstalled priority water service connection assigned to this APN. And the current owner is on record as being the owner of this connection as well, Anthony and Sherry Tafera. Because this parcel was already allocated a priority water connection, we can allow this proposed development to use it. It conforms to these policies and regulations on this table. So for the district, the required building site, it is 10,000 square foot. It is at 8,800 square feet, but it was a legal parcel because of a certificate of compliance that was filed. So it is a legal non-conforming parcel. It conforms to the lot width. It's 80 feet when the required is 50. The lot coverage proposed is just under the maximum lot coverage of 2640 square feet. So they're proposing 2638 square feet. The maximum floor area is well below the allowed. So allowed is 4224 square feet. They're proposing 2638. The front setback, they're meeting it's 20-foot setback. They're at 23 feet. The rear setback, the same 20 feet, but they're meeting it at 33 feet and 7 inches. Side setbacks are 10 feet. On the right side, it's 11 feet, and on the left side, it's 10 and a half feet. The maximum building height allowed is 28 feet, and they're well under that at 23 feet, about 23 and a half feet. And they are providing 2 parking spaces as required by our code. It's consistent with all the general plan policies that apply to this project. The same for the LCP, the local coastal program policies are consistent. And it's consistent with the zoning regulations as well, as you saw in the table before. And I mentioned the minimum lot size. They are a legal parcel, so they're legal non-conforming. This project went to the Coastside Design Review Committee on November 14th, 2024, and they unanimously recommended approval to the Planning Commission. They noted that although it's not in the CDRC's purview, a neighbor indicated concerns about road conditions during construction at the meeting. They also, the handout that you just got, that was received last night. It was a public comment regarding road conditions again, and they wanted to add a condition to repair the road in case their trips hurt the road. So there is a condition 38 in the staff report. It's a condition from DPW, Department of Public Works, that requires an encroachment permit. In the encroachment permit process, when you apply, you automatically agree to some standard provisions. And in provision 14, they mention making repairs. And if they hurt, they have to basically get the road back to the condition that it was previously. And that cost is borne by the applicant. So both of these comments are addressed by condition of approval number 38. For the environmental review, the project is categorically exempt pursuant to section 15303, which is a class 3 categorical exemption of the California Environmental Quality Act, guidelines for construction and location of limited numbers of new small facilities or structures such as single family residences in a residential zone. And this is a residential zone. And the recommendation and findings that we asked for is that the planning commission approve the coastal development permit, the design review permit, and the grading permit, county file PLN 2024-00043 by making the required findings and adopting the conditions of approval listed in attachment A. And that's my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Do commissioners have questions for the planner?
I do. Just for clarification, so is Magellan a public or private street?
It is a public road. It's a county road, but they said in the email that it is privately maintained. But I don't know if that is true, but it sounds like that's what the person in the public said. So I don't know if they have a road maintenance agreement, but it is the county road.
Yeah, that's,
I-
I'll just add to that. That's not an uncommon situation on the coast side where we have established road systems that are open to anyone who needs to use them, but are maintained on a private basis. So I think probably the comments that we received were accurate in that it is up to the residents on the street to maintain that road. But it is not a private road.
Okay, a follow-up question then. Is there an HOA association with
Not
this?
that I'm aware of,
Yeah,
no.
not that we're aware of.
Okay.
And yeah, I just had a comment on that. My understanding is that the street, the right of way, which is established, public right of way is established, but for the county to maintain the road, it has to be accepted into the county road maintenance system. And at that point, the owners along the street have to bring it up to what those standards are. And then from there on, the county would take care of the road. It sounds like that has not happened.
Yes, that's accurate. I think that's the reason why it hasn't been accepted in the county's
Right.
roadway maintenance system is because it was never improved to county standards.
So I guess my question, same as yours, does condition 38, is that all that can be accomplished here, or does some further clarification needed?
Well, I think the condition that's attached to the permit is pretty standard for all construction projects. The developer is responsible for repairing any damages to the road that occurs as a result of construction. So whether, you know, it's publicly maintained or privately maintained, I think that's irrelevant to the responsibility of the developer to repair any damages. And the conditions of approval that are attached to the permit ensure that takes place.
Yes, I think we need to be, my understanding is now that they're not expected to bring, the one homeowner is not expected to bring this up to standard.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, I think that's two different things. There's, you know, the improvements required to bring the whole roadway system up to the standards by which it could be accepted into the roadway system. That's not a requirement of
Okay.
this project. But what is required of this project is that should damage to the existing roadway occur as a result of the construction, that they will be responsible for repairing that.
An additional question, I guess, on this then. Is there a survey done prior to the project commencement so that they understand what the condition of the road is? And then, and after, to see how much damage was done? Because I think it's just very, it leaves it very open.
I believe that DPW for the encroachment permit, they take before and after pictures.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you, Tiffany. So, this is done through the encroachment permit process, you know, whether or not a road is publicly maintained or privately maintained. If it is within the public right of way, it needs, any work within there needs to, obtain an encroachment permit, as is required by the conditions of approval. And so DPW's process for issuing and enforcing that encroachment permit is, as Tiffany describes, to assess the condition prior to and afterwards.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from commissioners? Does the applicant wish to speak? You have 15 minutes.
Good morning. My name is Bert Hurlbut, and I was the neighbor that's
Pardon me, are you,
talking about. So
are you the applicant?
I am not the applicant, though.
Okay.
So-
This is the, for the applicant. This is time for the applicant to speak. Give us 1 second. So I don't think the applicant wish is here to speak on this item.
Might they be available online, Angela?
I don't see Anthony Tefera online. I see Sherry Rooser Tefera. Okay, give me 1 second.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry, we had a glitch there. Anyway, no, I don't have any comment. I understand the concerns about the road condition and I believe this gentleman is stepping up to further get clarification on that. So I'm fine for now. I'll just sit back and listen.
All right, now we will open public comment on this item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will first call on speakers in chambers, followed by any hands raised on Zoom. And the first speaker I will call is Bert Hulbert.
Good morning. My name is Bert Hurlbut. I was the neighbor that was talked about. First off, I support the project. It's tastefully done, looks nice, fits in the neighborhood, no problems at all. My concern was the condition of the road. There is no HOA, so any repairs made to the road, we just do it ourselves, and it's usually me that's doing most of the repairs. So I just want to make sure that everything gets repaired at the end of the day, back to where it was when it started. So, and I think all the documents I've seen state that, no problems at all. So, but I got another concern, and it's another construction project. It's between my house and this house, and it's going to be an ADU. And I understand it doesn't go through the same process as a normal house. And I just want to make sure the conditions that we're seeing here gets put onto that project as well. And the address on that one is 321 Coronado. So it's kind of strange that it's on the next street over, but his property, he's purchased two lots, a front lot on Coronado and the one on the backside, which is on Magellan. And it appears that he's going to approach everything from Magellan. And I want to make sure that he does his own construction project from his own street so that we're not impacted, because I think his project is going to be at least this size and maybe even a little bit larger. So just asking that we get a consideration like that for the neighbors down on Magellan. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Through the chair, if you'd like me to address that comment, I'd be happy to. So it's the condition that we were discussing earlier about the responsibility of the developer to address any repairs that are needed as a result of the construction project will also apply to the ADU construction. State law prohibits the county from require a discretionary approval for ADUs, and that's why it's not coming before the Planning Commission. But we are still authorized to apply objective standards needed to address public health and safety. And so fixing any damage caused to the road as a result of construction is something that we can attach to the ADU project. We can't necessarily dictate the route by which they access the construction site. That would be a matter for the Department of Public Works to consider in conjunction with any application for an encroachment permit. So I heard the speaker request that we require they use a certain street. We don't have the authority to do that here today, but I'm certainly willing to pass these concerns on to the Department of Public Works and make sure that that project is properly addressed.
Because I think the street Coronado gets more consideration from the county than Magellan does. So, you know, to put all that traffic, you know, there'd be a couple dozen pickup trucks every day, concrete trucks, lumber trucks, and the road's just going to get beat up. It's pretty thin down through there. So
Understood, and I will certainly pass that concern
Okay.
on to Public Works and work with them to address that.
but for the record, this particular project, I support it. Looks nice. Like to see it move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And with that, there is no further comment for item number 3.
We will now close public comment on this item. Is there any discussion? Questions?
Pardon me, through the chair, there was one hand that just went up. So I will call on Brian Dessler.
Hello, my name is Brian Dessler. The Callan family, who I am part of, we own the property directly to the west of this site, just down the hill. And we are in favor of the project, happy to see it go in. I think just ourselves, as well as another cousin, the Carey family, own 2 of the properties directly below that, about 8,800 square feet as well. And so our expectation would be in the future that we may develop that an 8,800 square foot property directly to the west of this new property. And again, we're in favor of this development, and would expect that property owner to allow for a similar development directly down the hill from them as well. So that's all I really had to say.
Thank you. And with that, Madam Chair, we have no comment now for item number 3.
Okay, public comment is closed. Is there any further discussion among the commissioners, or do we have a motion?
I'll go ahead and make the motion, if you don't mind. I move that the Planning Commission approve the coastal development permit, design review permit, and grading permit as per county file number PLN 2024-0043 by making the required findings and adopting the conditions of approval listed in attachment A.
And I will second that.
That was a motion by Commissioner Ramirez, a second by Commissioner Hanson. Commissioner Gupta,
Aye.
Commissioner Hanson,
Aye.
Commissioner Serrano Kwan,
Aye.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Aye.
Chair Ketchum.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you. We will close that item and move on to item 4 through 6 from the director.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Besides the 2 comment letters we received regarding the items on today's agenda, I do not have any additional correspondence to report. With regard to our next meeting, that's scheduled for March 12th. We have 2 items currently on that agenda. One is an appeal of a denial of an overheight fence exception in the community of Ladera. And the second is another appeal. This is for the issuance of a non-conforming use permit to construct a new garage on a parcel with non-conforming size. So moving on to the director's report, I want to let the commissioners know that yesterday at the Board of Supervisors hearing, the board unanimously adopted Get There Together, our transportation demand management plan for the coast side. In conjunction with their adoption of that plan, there were comments that expressed real interest in moving forward with implementation. And so I anticipate additional items coming forward to this commission with regard to carrying out that plan. And then I also wanted to let the commissioners know that I think I have mentioned in the past that there is a proposed rebuild of a home destroyed by a fire on the coast in Moss Beach in, I think what's fair to say is a hazardous location. Per the terms of the Coastal Act and our local coastal program, the Planning and Building Department determined that the project was exempt from a coastal permit due to the provisions that allow for the replacement of a structure destroyed by a natural disaster. The organization known as Green Foothills challenged that determination, and in accordance with Coastal Act regulations, we informed Coastal Commission staff that a dispute exists regarding the need for a coastal permit for this rebuild. And that matter is currently under consideration by the Coastal Commission staff. If the commission staff agrees with the county's determination, then the determination will stand. If they disagree, then it will be brought to hearing in front of the Coastal Commission. And staff has not yet made a determination regarding the dispute. So I will certainly keep you informed of how that progresses, and happy to answer any questions you might have about it. And that concludes my director's report for today.
I had a related comment, question to the CDX you just spoke of.
Yes.
I just wanted to note that the zoning hearing officer tends to hear shoreline issues that are of great interest to me. And at their March 6th meeting, the zoning hearing officer will has the it's on the Princeton shoreline at the foot of West Point Avenue. And the project that's being approved there is a modular home that can be moved, not a home, boat facility. And the conditions of approval are what you would expect that the Coastal Commission staff wrote up their latest version of their concerns. And I'm thinking ahead to Plan Princeton. I'm hopeful that this is the direction that it's going. And well, on that note, do you have any news on when we'll be seeing more on Plan Princeton?
Well, luckily we have Bharat here. He's more familiar with the details. And so, Bharat, can you update the commissioners, please, on kind of what's the latest with Plan Princeton and what they might anticipate seeing in the near future?
So as you all mentioned, are familiar, we had this community meeting last year talking about sea level rise. The community was very receptive of the risks. What we are doing right now is trying to estimate how do we approach from a policy perspective the impacts of sea level rise. So we're looking at it in two broad directions. One is, the typical, what would be the development standards that you would want to apply so that those that want to use those properties for the near future are secure from excessive flooding and other related issues. And then the other aspect of it is the eventuality of, properties being underwater. How would we address that? So at this point, we are reviewing both of those approaches, and hopefully probably by April, we'll have some draft aspects available for the community to respond to. We'll probably put out some information in March to the community about what's next. So at this point, that's what we are looking at. So the standards part is kind of quite well worked out already in different jurisdictions. So we're just taking a culmination of analysis that we've done right up and down the California coast and trying to figure out which pieces of those works best for us. And we'll bring that to the community as, these are the options here, and have the community sort of respond to that and see what would work best. The other more challenging part is how do you address parcels that we know would be underwater should there be no intervention in terms of infrastructure in the harbor, and what are the mechanisms to either compensate those property owners, and how would that be done, is what we are trying to grapple with. On the other aspect of it is, what is the alternative? How do we make them whole should they lose their property? So at this point, I don't want to really talk more about that. We are working on a few things, and that'll come out probably in March as a follow-up workshop with the community, or a public meeting with the community, where we bring out these ideas and then get their feedback.
Yeah. Will we be expecting a long-term planning workshop here anytime soon for the coming?
For the commission?
Yeah, the annual,
Yes, the annual report, we are scheduled to come in April to go over the work plan. There's a whole bunch of things that have been added.
oh,
Some of it to the state laws, and some of it, that are coming out of what we need to do of the housing element. And as we are, behind with our housing element, we did submit to HCD. We're waiting on their response. We're very hopeful because we've been working very closely with them on all the edits that they've asked for. So we're very hopeful that they'll give us the green light, and we can get the board to sign off, and we would be on the road to compliance, because we've already put out an RFP for rezoning. The RFP responses are due on Friday, so we'll be looking to hire a consultant and get all that done by the end of the year. And there are some other aspects of the housing elements, other policies that we know we want to work on. So that work is also happening. So there'll be some additions, and we'll bring that to you the first meeting in April.
first meeting, what?
In April, the first meeting,
Okay.
planning commission meeting in April would be where we bring the work plan for the next 2 years.
So I think my memory of it a year ago, Plant Princeton was sort of centered in this year. Is it going to be bumped further away? Do you have any
No,
idea?
we plan to finish up Plan Princeton this year. So there might be that some of the CEQA work might move further out, but I don't believe so. I mean, depending on how the community responds to the ideas, and if everything is quote unquote non-controversial, we should wrap it up this year.
It's tantalizing because we get these bits of news like the Harbor Commission, the Harbor District is in closed session each meeting on the former Princeton Boatyard parcel. And what are their plans, kind of a thing. And then the Harbor District, once again, working with the Army Corps on trying to get something going for the Princeton shoreline. And I assume they're in touch with the Princeton shoreline group.
Well, to a certain degree, I think one of the challenges with dealing with climate change impacts in Princeton and sea level rise is there's so many variables. And I think it's impossible for us to kind of pinpoint exactly what the future has to hold for us. And so I think as we've been working on this plan, we've come to realize that we need to account for a variety of potential future scenarios. And so, yes, we are doing our best to stay on top of a lot of these moving pieces, but we don't want to delay completion of the plan based on the ongoing unknowns of how those various pieces will unfold. So Bharat and his team, I think, are doing a very good job of keeping tabs of that while also moving the plan forward and providing options within the plan so that we can account for how those various outcomes might unfold. So, yes, it's challenging to keep all these various efforts in coordination with each other and keep everyone informed. We're certainly making an effort to do so, but I think the work that we do will need to account for the fact that there will be changing circumstances in the future and our plans and policies will need to be adaptable to those various outcomes.
And
Thank you.
yes, so that is the actual intent of the policy, sets of policies that we're trying to work out is making sure that they are adaptable to whatever the harbor district might do, or if there's new data from science of climate change, and if things change, the policies should be able to adapt to that. So that's the main push for us.
Thank you. Do any other commissioners have comments or questions at this point?
Yes, I do. I had something about the Form 700. In the past, we had been filing under net file. But this year I got email about using e-disclosure. And that's what I have filed under.
Well, thank you for bringing that up and thank you for following the new protocol. Angela, do you have any additional information to add?
I don't have any additional information to add at this time. I am working with Julieta Fernandez and trying to just get clarification for your questions, but at this time, I don't have anything to add.
Okay, because I want to be sure that I file it on time because they are very
They're attentive.
unforgiving,
Yes.
unforgiving, right.
They are certainly attentive to the matter. And I think, the information that we've received is the platform that the Fair Political Practices Commission uses
Right.
to implement their standards under Form 700. They've just switched the platform from NetFile to the one that you've mentioned.
Right.
So I think it's just a change in technology. I don't think there's any substantive change, but you have done the appropriate thing by using the new platform and
Okay, so others have received it too?
that's my understanding.
Okay.
And if any of the commissioners have not received the information you need to complete Form 700, which I think is due April 1st.
April 1st.
April
Yes, and-
1st.
yeah.
Please feel free to reach out to Angela and she can assist with that.
Okay. And do we have any update on the budget for the county and if it impacts anything in your department?
So we're actively working on preparing the budget for the next 2-year cycle that will be coming to the board this summer. To the degree there's been a lot of questions and concerns raised by the actions of the federal government. The Planning and Building Department does not receive any federal funds.
Okay.
Certainly the county as a whole does, and to the degree that there may be a loss in federal funds to the county, I think that has the potential to affect the overall budget, which could have implications on planning and building budget, but those impacts still are uncertain, so we are doing our best to understand them and prepare for them. And so certainly there'll be more information on that in the next few months.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nobody else? Okay, let's move on to 2025 Planning Commission election of chair and vice chair. May I have a motion for chair?
I will nominate Mr. Serrano Kwan for chair.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That was a motion by Commissioner Ramirez. And a second, I missed the second, sorry. Who's,
Oh, I did.
yeah,
Chair Ketchum.
right, Chair Ketchum,
Yes.
to nominate Commissioner Serrano Kwan as the 2025 Planning Commission Chair. Commissioner Gupta,
Aye.
Commissioner Hanson,
Aye.
Commissioner Serrano Kwan, Commissioner Ramirez,
Aye.
Chair Ketchum.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Congratulations.
So may I have a motion for Planning Commission Vice Chair for 2025?
So I would nominate Manuel Ramirez for the vice chair.
Second?
Second.
Oh, go ahead.
Thank you. That was a motion by Commissioner Gupta and a second by Commissioner Serrano Kwan to nominate Commissioner Ramirez as the 2025 Vice Chair for Planning Commission. Commissioner Serrano Kwan,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta,
Aye.
Commissioner Hanson,
Aye.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Aye.
Chair Ketchum.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Congratulations.
So if there is no further business, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Excellent.